All righty, hang in there with me. All right, let me stop my share. All right. Well, hopefully all of that good and the tech stuff worked, but I want to welcome everybody here to our Midlife Mojo Mondays. And you guys know that every single Monday I go live at the 2 p.m.-ish hour, doing things a little bit differently this week because I've got a special guest on and she wanted to share a PowerPoint. And so I'm excited to see what she has. But every single week in this group, I go live at 2 p.m. and I do some kind of education or demonstration or bring on a special guest like I am this week. Somebody who I think can just help us all thrive in our 40s, our 50s, our 60s, and beyond. And you ladies know that I also have in my Midlife Mojos group, every single Sunday, I release kind of a theme of the week, a loose theme of the week. And this week's theme was birthdays. Done because this week is my birthday, right? So I keep letting everybody and their uncle know that my birthday is Thursday. It's always a big celebration for me. I'll be 51. But of course, how can you not think about getting older when your birthday week rolls around? Good, bad, or indifferent, you can't help but think about how time is passing. Can't help, if you're me looking in the mirror at all of the little lines and wrinkles on my faces and looking at them lovingly, but kind of wishing, maybe for them to get a little smoother, look a little bit younger, look a little fresher. And so I'm excited to bring on my guest today, and her name is Louise Breton. I hope I pronounced that correct. If I'm wrong, you can correct me.
Breton.
But I'm very excited to bring her on. I'm going to read her bio in just a minute. But I met Louise just recently. We were collaborating on something together. And I told her, I said, it was meant to be because just that weekend I had been thinking about face yoga. I had heard about it. I knew somebody and I wanted to bring somebody to my group. And then literally like the next day, she showed up as one of these people that in this group that I was collaborating with. So I knew it was meant to be, and I'm excited to bring her to my audience today. So Louise, thank you for being here. And I'm going to go ahead and read your bio. And ladies, I'm going to also turn the show over to Louise once I introduce her. I want her just to kind of teach you guys for about 30, 40 minutes, and then I'll come back and I'll wrap you up. So let me read what we got about Louise here. So after 40, Louise began to notice unwanted lines, sagging skin, and droopy eyes on her face. She wasn't a fan of the quick fixes offered by the mainstream, such as fillers, injections, or risky surgery, nor the myriad of anti-aging creams which did little, if nothing, to address the root cause of her aging skin, and left her feeling hopeless and helpless. Anybody else, right? That sounds like a familiar story. So, as a holistic nutritionist and 30 years of experience in the health and wellness industry, she began to search for more natural options to addressing her aging face that were more in line with her core values. And after many years of searching, Louise discovered face yoga, an all natural technique that uses the power of face muscles. And yes, we do have face muscles, which, when moved correctly, positively impacts the aging signs on the face. It's a proven method that requires only 10 minutes or less a day. And after teaching hundreds of busy women over 40 to halt and reverse the aging signs on their face and feel years younger, Louise is confident that her face yoga method is the ultimate weapon for smoothing out lines, firming up sagging skin, lifting up droopy eyes while giving your self-confidence a boost. She's a certified face yoga method coach who works with busy women over 40 to, again, halt and reverse those times of aging from their face without having to resort to any kind of risky or timely treatments, invasive procedures, or even expensive anti-aging creams. She's the founder of the Ultimate Facelift Method, a 12-week face yoga and nutrition program designed to refresh, rejuvenate, and lift the entire face without the trauma. So welcome, welcome, Louise. And ladies, if that didn't intrigue you, if that didn't just draw you all right in, I don't know what will. So I'm going to shut off my video. I'm going to turn things over to you and you can take it away.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jill. Thank you very much. I'm going to share my screen here. Put my 1 second. So thank you, Jill, again. And yes, I'm really excited to showcase this all natural technique. If you're someone who's fed up with, as you said, current mainstream options, you don't want to opt for surgery, right? We want to maintain our youth. There's the myriad of beauty creams, injections, fillers, surgeries, et cetera, et cetera. But you want a more natural alternative to taking years off of your face. Face yoga has helped millions of women reverse these aging signs off of their face. So I'm going to show you, I have this amazing intro, face yoga intro. I'm just going to tell you kind of what we're going to go through. So I'm going to kind of show you exactly what face yoga is. If you're hearing it for the first time, you've never heard of it before, show you how it works. We're going to go through some benefits. I've got a little bit about myself, although Jill did say a lot more. And of course, we're going to talk about facial expressions and what they're telling you, a little bit of the science, everybody's favorite before and after pictures. We're going to do some face yoga poses, and I'll go through some frequently asked questions and of course, what you can do next. So a little bit about where this all started. I'm just going to shut off I'm going to come back on and on with my video, but I'll be right back on just to avoid a little bit of distraction. So this is where it all began. So you may or may not have seen her. This is my mentor and coach, Fumiko Takatsu. And maybe you have seen her on one of the social media platforms. She's been on TV, maybe even read her book as well. So she's one of the best known face exercise instructors in Japan. And so the ultimate question is, what is face yoga, right? So, everybody I'm sure knows exactly what yoga is. You've maybe tried different types of yoga, but what is it for the face? So basically, this is a short kind of description, but it's a blend of yoga-like body postures and facial expressions. So they're all designed to enhance the appearance of the face and the skin. So face yoga teaches you how to correctly use face muscles. I know Jill was just talking a little bit, right? We talked about we do use our face muscles, but if you use them in the right manner, they will help to improve your appearance. And then also, it's a nice, neat little side effect is they do help build up a sense of well-being, which I will talk about as well. So there are approximately 60 muscles in the face. And again, we use them daily. So if you think of smiling, laughing, talking, right? They're always getting a workout. And it's important that you use them in your favor so you don't get unwanted wrinkles. Also, face yoga brings an awareness. Once you learn this modality, you will start to notice. You start noticing in yourself and others how they start to use their face muscles. And it's the repetitive facial movement. So if you're doing if you have a common facial expression that you're using all the time, you may start to create unwanted lines. So here is a nice picture. Here's an image of what they look like under the skin. I always love this one here. So these are the muscles that we do use in all the face yoga methods. Okay, everybody wants to know the expected benefits, right? Tell me, Louise, what are the benefits of face yoga? So let's start with the physical benefits. Now, this is just a small list of what things can do, but most important, most women want that more younger looking skin. When we start to break down in the, we got in the forehead, we don't want those lines. Our eyes, right, where they start to droop. Our cheeks start to sag. Our lips start to thin. We start to get that double chin. So these can all work in those benefits. Mental benefits, right? Not something you think about, right? When you think of current mainstream options, right? So like the injections and fillers, these are things that you don't get from those. So elevated mood, like as I said earlier, you start to become aware of how you move your face. So you're creating a connection with the body. improved self-confidence, seeing this over and over and over, and a sense of empowerment because you actually get to change your face. You're doing it on your own. Now, here's just a few of other benefits that most people don't think about. Some of the poses will help as well. I've seen improvement of confidence in speaking as well, right? So when you're working out, say, the mouth muscles, you actually can increase your speech. Also great exercise for the brain. I've worked with TMJ clients as well. So there's a local physiotherapist that I work with as well. She will refer her TMJ clients over to me. And I've seen some excellent results with Bell's palsy as well. Okay. So I know Jill gave quite an introduction, and she said, I've been a holistic nutritionist since 2008, but I've been in the whole health and wellness sector since I was 18 years old. I got certified as a face yoga coach in 2017. And these are just some of my fun shots. I love taking them. I've got a rescue dog. So I live out in Southern Ontario, Canada, and I live here with my favorite dog here. She's always a good sport here. And then just doing some of my fun poses. And so I love to work with busy women, and it's funny, I say 40 plus, but I have had clients in their late 20s who want to do face yoga as a preventative, which is awesome. Even children as well have done this. But basically my clientele has been over 40, and of course they want to counteract the effects of gravity, so to naturally lift their face tone, sculpt it. And they're looking for more natural methods to looking younger, feeling younger. And the beauty of this is it takes less than 10 minutes a day. So why facial expressions matter? So there is a strong connection between facial expressions and messages sent to the brain. So our facial expressions represent our attitudes and feelings, and they can send a message out to the world. So for example, let's say you've got a lot of creases across the forehead, or you've got those 11 lines between the eyebrows, right? They can be, often when you're looking at someone, you might interpret them as someone who's got a lot of anger or maybe really stressed out. If you think of the corners of the eyes, right, and they're turned downwards, and the corners of the mouth, you've got that frown, you might think, wow, they're someone who looks sad or someone who looks unhappy. I just want to ask you for yourself, when you look in the mirror, right, you're looking at your face, what is your first thought? Do you look away? Do you feel embarrassed? Do you feel frustrated? I know a lot of women avoid the mirror altogether. These thoughts carry forward in your day. So your brain is always listening. And this definitely starts to affect other relationships. It can affect your relationship with your spouse, with your coworker, maybe with friends. You start to turn down invites where there's going to be a lot of focus on you. Or maybe you turn down projects at work because you just feel embarrassed. You don't want to be the center of attention. How are you perceived by others? Do you look unapproachable? Are you looking unfriendly? Maybe someone thinks you're a little bit moody. On that note, I'd like for us to try a couple experiments for you to get a feel about our facial expressions. So I'm going to turn my camera back on. And for those watching, if you're watching the replay, again, I'm just going to have you participate in this. So, sorry. I'm going to have you sit up nice and tall. Sorry, sit up nice and tall. We're going to close your eyes. You're going to take a deep breath and exhale. So close your eyes. I want you to imagine something heavy and stressful, just like your phone going off in the middle of a presentation. Close your eyes. And then when you take your hands now, as your eyes close, and you're going to just Slide them down your face. So you have this sliding down effect. And notice in your face, notice maybe your jaw is clenching, maybe there's tightness in your forehead, right? What thoughts are coming up when you examine your face? What emotions come to mind? So I want you to start to notice that connection. Now we're going to try this second experiment. Again, just closing your eyes, take a deep breath in and out. Exhale. Now we're going to imagine something that uplifts you, something that's joyful, right? Something that just makes you feel really happy. And again, we're just going to take the back of your fingers and just slide them upwards. So you're sliding them up. Maybe even want to run your fingers through your scalp up. And then notice your face. Notice if it feels more relaxed, less tense. How are your thoughts? Again, noticing how others perceive you. So try that. These are just two great ones, right? When you're looking in the mirror, what are your first thoughts? What do you see? And again, when you know you're interacting with others, I always say, like when I'm out walking the dog, right? How do I feel about myself? When I feel good, I'm still much more willing to smile at someone and say hello, my approach. Okay. I'm just going to stop here. So here's a thermographic camera, which makes it possible to see the amount of radiation sent out after 3 sets of a second pose. So if you notice here on the left, and then just see just how much increase in temperature on the right. So this is done after, as I said, 30 seconds. So they did 3 poses, which of 10 seconds, 3 times. And that's just already. So you think all this temperature, all the circulation coming to the face. And this kind of gives you a little bit of a simple summary. So when you have better circulation, you have more oxygen flow, and you have an increase in nutrients to the face. So what does that equal? You get improved skin, your features soften, and definitely you'll see a decrease in lines. Sound good? Okay, so how do you measure success? So when, say we've got a weight loss goal, for example, right? We use a scale or a measuring tape, or maybe how our clothes fit. But with face yoga, when we're measuring our face, we don't have such tools. So what do we use? Before and after pictures. This is everybody's favorite. So I'm going to just demonstrate some before and after pictures. So this one's Julia. Julia is 42 years old. And I just want you to have a look and see. I mean, I can clearly see a difference, but I always like to start with the eyes. If you look at the eyes, their eyes are much more clouded. Her eye area is much more open. Her skin is soft. Even her cheeks are lifted, and her lips. Those you who suffer from droopy eyes, you see here as well. So this is Susan in her mid-50s. And this is Bente, and she is in her early 70s as well. If you can see all the lines underneath her neck and here. Okay, and this is Catherine. Catherine, now if you can see here with Catherine, you might be looking at her and going, yeah, her neck is tilted. So Catherine here actually suffered a stroke, and she used face yoga to help straighten her posture and help with to get more of a symmetrical face. So obviously as well, you can see the difference with her skin glowing, her eyes and her face as well. So she used it. She used other things, but face yoga was helped to get her face back to symmetrical. And then I saved my own for last. So this was me. This was actually, this picture on the left was taken on my very first day when I was starting my face yoga certification. And that you can start to see, I always prided myself on having these my high cheekbones, and they started to sag. I started more nasolabial. My eyes were getting droopy. And this is 2 years to the month. So this was July 2017, and this is July 2019. Okay, so you've seen some before and after pictures. Are you ready to do some face yoga poses? Okay, I'm gonna just open my video. Great, okay. So the first one we're going to do is called the wow pose. And just like the body, there are warm-up poses, right? We've got to prepare the muscles. So the benefits of the wow poses actually stretches and wakes up the face muscles. It releases tension and stress and prepares the face for exercise, and it uplifts the entire mood. All right, so we're going to sit up nice and tall. We're going to take a deep breath in, exhale out, and deep breath in, and exhale out. Okay, so all we're going to do is we're going to say wow in an exaggerated manner. So breathing in, wow, wow, wow. Now you don't have to vocalize, but I always say it's better to vocalize. It helps release stress, but you can just wow, right? If there's people around, you don't want to vocalize it. Wow. What you don't want to do is this again, overly. So if you're seeing my face, wow, wow. So I'm kind of creating more lines on the face. So you want to keep it as relaxed. So wow, 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 wow. And then just close your eyes, put your hands on your laps. And then just go in and notice. Notice the sensation in the body. Notice if you feel the heat in your face. Breathing in and out. Good. And then breathe in. Wow. 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 Good. Again, you do this 10 times. Breathe in and out. And just relax and close your eyes and just notice. Notice if you feel that warmth coming up to your face. Okay. The forehead lift with hands. Okay. Jill, if you're on there, I wonder if you want to come up and do some of these poses with me. If not, that's okay. Awesome. Okay.
But I didn't want to disturb you. I was like, I
No,
wanted to come do
I was
them.
thinking because I'm like doing this alone, and I feel like, because you know what, with there's a connection, there's an energy, right? You do it by yourself, and there's other people. But I thought, yeah, maybe I'll get you on here and
Yeah, no, I was gonna just pop on, but I was like, I didn't want to disturb you, so I'm glad you invited me.
Yeah, so, okay. So we're going to do, this one's for the forehead. The forehead, interestingly enough, depending on the culture. So I know, as you met my teacher, Japanese women, they don't have a lot of forehead lines because the way they speak, they don't use those muscles. Generally, North Americans, we're pretty expressive, and we do use a lot of the forehead lines too. So this one's a really great one. It lifts the whole forehead area, lifts up the mood, the spirit. And again, too, if you got like those droopy eyes or just the upper part of the face as well. So what we're gonna do is, I'm just gonna get it over here. Okay, so we're gonna just take the side of our hands. We're gonna place it along the hairline.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch you, then I'm gonna do it. There you go. Yeah, all right.
again, posture, we go through a lot posture as well. So because everything is connected, right? It's not just we're working on these little 11 lines. You learn actually in face yoga that it's the entire posture that affects everything, right? It's a fat. We're all this big fascia. So wherever things are tight, you can affect those 11 lines or wrinkles. So again, we're going to take the side of the hands, and you're just kind of, if you can notice, you're just kind of lifting. So you see you're lifting up, you're applying firm pressure, shoulders back and down. And we're just going to relax. And what you're going to do now, you're just going to take your eyes and you're going to look all the way down to the floor. And then we're going to hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back and just close your eyes for a moment. Place your hands on your lap. And then just notice what you feel in your face. We're going to do a couple of sets. Good. Now open your eyes, and then we're going to do another set too. Relax the shoulders. You can do this also too lying down. So if you're on a recliner, or if you're lying again on the floor as well, you can do this in bed. So lifting up, shoulders back and down. Again, you're just going to use your eyes. Your eyes are going to gaze all the way down as far as you can go. And again, you might feel a nice little stretch in the eyes. And hold for 5. Keep breathing. 4, 3, 2, 1, and come back up. Again, close your eyes, your hands on your lap, and then just notice if you have any sensation around the eyes, if you feel that pulling sensation. Breathe in and out. Good. And then open your eyes. And we're going to do one more time. Again. And again, we play around with hand position. So some people, maybe they can't do shoulder. Maybe they've got an impinged shoulder. So I do work with some different variations as well to show you, right? So these are the basics, but we can alter some of the poses as well. So again, you're lifting up nice and firm, right? We want that nice. So you're already smoothing out the lines in the forehead area. So lifting up, shoulders back down, open the chest, open your heart. Breathe in and out. And again, you're just taking the eyes and going all the way down, trying to look down at your feet. Stretch all the way down. Feel that contraction. Down. Keep breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come up. Hands on your lap and close your eyes. And then just notice your eyes. Maybe they might feel a little bit, you might have a little strange sensation. Do they feel worked?
I'm going to tell you what, they definitely feel worked. Which is amazing. I felt a little tingly. That's where I was kind of feeling like a little tingly thing. And you can definitely feel that stretch and release. Like I was like, oh wait, we're like breathe. Like, I was like, oh wait, this is yoga, Jill. Like we're breathing. And when I realized what you were actually doing, it wasn't just about, and put it all together about the second or third time when it was kind of all starting to click. Definitely, I felt like even, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's visual, but it felt like they were smoothing out. You know what I'm saying? When I release, it's like you could feel the tension in the forehead release, and it just felt that way. It felt like when you were doing a regular yoga pose on the ground where you're holding, you're like, okay, and then you release and everything feels good. It was that same sensation. So I loved that. That was fantastic.
That's awesome. That's what I love. Like when I'm looking at a screen and I'm teaching, I'm like, okay.
Believe me, I'm the queen of that. I know that feeling. So, and especially something as interactive as this.
Yes. So that's awesome. And that's what I like. I do the first, especially when someone's never used them before, right? You're you've never used those muscles before, right? Now you're just beginning to, and then by the second, third time, you're like, oh, now I feel it. Now I
Yeah,
understand.
especially the eyes looking down. Like, when I really made that extra effort when I was listening to you, it's like you could feel the whole tops of the eyes like stretching. It was like kind of a cool feeling. Yeah, definitely great.
Awesome. Okay, so hopefully you'll feel this one here. I've got this the
Yeah.
eye flex one, and this firms and strengthens all the muscle areas. So there's 6 muscles around the eyes, and that's what we want to really do. We want to start to utilize those muscles, because I know for me, when I started, I was a big forehead user, right? So when I lift my eyes, you see the forehead, I started to create those lines. So over time, they start to get deeper and deeper. So what I want to do is I want to start to train my body to use those eye muscles. And then also to reduce this puffiness, which I know a lot of women suffer as well. Okay. So again, you can sit. The beauty of it too, there's a lot of flexibility with it. You can do this I do a lot of them driving. So, but I do before bed, or if you're just going into bed, or if you want to sit up, it's your choice. But again, just being mindful of the posture. Again, you don't want hunched shoulders. You want to relax the shoulders, bring them back and down, open up the chest. And so what we're going to just do is I'm going to have you you're going to look straight in, find a focal point. So you're looking up straight, find a focal point. What we're going to do, we're just going to relax the forehead. And again, if you have an option if you are like me, a big forehead user, I like to keep my hand on there as well, just to avoid from wrinkling. But if you're already using your eyes, that's fine. So you can have your hand on your forehead, and we're just going to look really straight ahead, like you're looking into the distance, and then you're just going to squint. So you imagine like your eyes just squinting. Again, we don't want to wrinkle the forehead. And you want to be mindful of your neck too. So relax the neck, and it's just the eye muscles. We're going to squint. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close your eyes for 3 seconds. 2, 3. Open the eyes and squint again. So imagine those muscles. We're really focusing on those muscles around the eye area. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close your eyes and open. And let's do one more set. Again, being mindful of the shoulder, and squeeze, really squeeze the eyes. 5, 4, relax the shoulders. 3, keep breathing. 2, 1, and relax and come back out. Deep breath in, hands on your lap, and exhale. And just notice how you feel, the sensation in your eyes. Do you feel any more heat? You feel those muscles? Good.
I
Open.
definitely do. Yeah. I mean, so that was a harder one to kind of get into. So I think that helps really to have that there, because as soon as I could feel this like little crease happening, I'm like, oh, not that's too much. So that was a really good clue. And again, it definitely took a couple of times. But when you definitely recognize the difference between these muscles and these muscles making the move, you can definitely see. I like that. Yeah, that was, yeah.
That's good.
It's yoga, like, ladies. So it's mind body. It is not just body, right? I mean, that's what I'm noticing about. I'm a Pilates instructor, so and I love when you're like, okay, straighten that. You can see me. Oh, yeah, straighten. Oh, yeah, breathe out. Right. All those cues are important, and so I love this. It's a whole body exercise, even though it's just our face. I'm appreciating this in a different way than I was expecting to. So
that's awesome. Yeah, it's actually, like I said, once you start to make the whole connection, because most people don't realize they had face muscles, and I'm like, you've been using them, but now we're like, you become aware. So that's awesome. Well, thank you, Jill. Yeah, thank you for.
I'm gonna go off my video if you're and let you continue.
Yes.
Let's see. Maybe stop video.
Okay, I'm going to stop here. So I'm just going to go into some frequently asked questions. How often? This is my favorite part. I say 10 minutes, and it doesn't have to be 10 minutes in one chunk. You could do a few minutes in the morning, a few minutes in the afternoon, a few minutes at night as well. And you can start to see some difference. Results. Everybody wants to know when. I say generally 2 weeks. If you're consistent, and again, it's not a lot of movement, consistent results, they're subtle. We recommend, as you've seen before with the before and after pictures, photos are recommended at the start of a practice, just so you can gauge those subtle differences. Do you need to practice every day? I always say it's better to practice a little every single day than as opposed to doing a big chunk, say, every few days, right? Especially if you want to transform problematic areas. And where and when to practice face yoga. Again, another one of my favorite. I always do them in the morning. So I do them in my shower. I do them when I'm moisturizing. We talk a lot about that too. You want to keep the skin as moist as possible. Driving. Once you start to get the hang of the poses, definitely, I especially when I'm sitting in the passenger seat, I'll often take that little mirror down and that's when I started to practice a lot. And then, would be long commutes and I would just kind of look at my face, or between at the red lights and stop signs. And again, shower, cooking. Nighttime too is also good because once we're relaxing the face. If you think about it, if you're really stressed up and you're going to bed, think about the position your face is in, and now you're going to hold that position, say 6 to 8 hours in that facial expression. So when you're letting go of tension and you're relaxing the muscles, now you're resetting your muscles and you can go back to sleep. Yoga or Jill's Pilates class, right? You're watching your favorite Netflix movie. I've seen even doing dancing. I practice with my mother as well. She loves it. This is in Vancouver. And with my girl, this is my dog, Bailey, my dog too. She loves to practice. So if you're unable to move your face muscles, as I was saying, if you're just new and you're not really used to it, it's okay. Practice, practice, practice. Your body starts to learn the movement and it never forgets the muscle memory. Will I get wrinkles from them? And the short answer is no. So when we move your muscles correctly, you actually prevent them. Movements are specific, and generally you're not in a pose for longer than 30 seconds. So that's and then we do what's called counter pose as well. So we'll get into that with my program. And again, a mirror is definitely recommended in the beginning to help target the right muscles. And so I teach in my program, there's 22 poses. And while I teach them, again, it's not necessary to do all the poses. I teach you how to do the poses chosen for your areas of concern. But I do recommend a total facial workout, right? We're not spot training. We want to exercise the entire face. And again, as Jill noticed, you might notice a strange sensation. Again, it means you're moving the face muscles and your body and brain are getting a new stimulation. Genetics, I always get that. Well, my mother, my grandmother, right? So they can be a great indicator, but again, the same with the body as well, right? You working it out, you still can achieve some really great results. And I've had clients as well who've had some injections, and the beauties of face yoga is it can be combined with other face treatments. However, Botox does suppress some of the face muscles, so it may take a little bit more time. We may have to wait till those muscles come back before we start to train them again. I have another before and after picture. So I always say, if I didn't do a good enough job explaining what face yoga is, I always say a picture is worth 1,000 words. And this is one of my favorites. I just love this. So if you could see how her face is like, droopy, everything's dragging down, her eyes are down, and just like she's just glowing and uplifted. One of my favorite pictures. So you might be asking, what's next, right? So how can I find out more? So I have my own Facebook community as well. It's called The Change of Face, and that's where you'll receive support, guidance. I do some trainings and challenges as well to help put your best face forward. And then I have a guide, which Jill also put out too. I put out, it's a beginner's guide to face yoga. So there's some steps in there to you can start immediately. I also give you a little bit of a 2-week challenge in there as well. So anybody that does want to take this challenge for 2 weeks, I invite them to email me their progress and I'll give them some feedback as well. I do host monthly themed master classes as well. My next one is next Wednesday, April 14th. It's going to be on uplift your eyelids. So it's all about droopy eyelids. We're going to prevent and soften the wrinkles in the forehead. You're going to learn to strengthen more of those eye muscles that we just worked on. So you get more wider, brighter looking eyes, lifted eyes. And also teach you how to quit unconscious habits that create those deep permanent lines. And again, too, you'll leave with a quick 10-minute routine as well. So you're not having to spend hours on your face. And then I do also a 6-week program as well. So this covers the entire face as well. And anybody too as well, if anybody wanted to kind of go at their own pace, I do have some self-study as options as well. So there's video, there's audio, there's PDFs, there's things you can kind of take it at your own as well. So I always like to leave with a quote: life doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful. And how you can reach me as well. So here's my contacts, my email, info@faceyogawithlouise.com. I'm on Facebook. I do have a business, Face Yoga with Louise, or my community. And I'm also on Instagram. So thank you very much. And I'm going to turn it back to Jill. Jill, are you here?
I am. Stop your share.
Okay, let me get back.
Let me come back on. You can come back on too. You don't have to be off if you don't want. Oh,
let me.
I was doing all that face yoga. Now I got to fix my hair. I'm saying it there. So that was just wonderful. And so a couple things I just wanted to as you're going through. So I also have my master's in speech language pathology. And so I worked my whole early part of my life was working with adults with strokes. And so we did all of these oohs and ahs. And that was my whole thing, was head and neck exercises. And it was like, what? Duh. Like, right. It was such a cool kind of connection that I had, and how important, right? I mean, that was a therapy, right? That was something that I was trained to do as part of rehabilitation. So if it's working for somebody who has, like that lady, a droopy face or anything, amazing what it could do for us. So I thought that was awesome. And then there were other thing that you mentioned too that I hadn't thought of, just bringing it to myself, but here we go, is that you were talking about the different times of the day to do it. And you mentioned the nighttime. And I was thinking that I grind my teeth, right? I wake up in the morning and I have teeth marks in my teeth, in my tongue a lot of the times,
yep.
right? And I don't even recognize that. But even just the other day, for the first time ever, I had like a shooting jaw pain for like a day. And I'm thinking, oh, I bet you that's all kind of related. And so what a great way to relax at the end of your day. Like, I mean, even your face to kind of do. And I think you're so right about that brain body connection, right? That's what yoga is. And so if the face is getting relaxed, then how can your thoughts before you go to bed not help to relax?
Exactly. Especially when your whatever your routine at night, right? And look in the mirror and it's just like, and right, that last thought before you fall asleep, right? Yeah. So I always, it's always mindful of what thought I'm thinking of, right? So I try and again, relax the face as much as I can, and then just kind of have a blank canvas so that I'm able to just fall asleep. So
yeah, no, I love that. And then you also mentioned it could be used with other methods, and you were saying sometimes facelifts and things. So I'm a big essential oils. There's a lot of essential oil ladies on here. And so you mentioned keeping, moisturizing and keeping that. Now, is that something when you're doing these exercises, I was thinking that, should my face be moist right now so it slides better? Does it matter?
Yeah. So there are some poses I'll invite people, like, so when I used to do live classes, I would have, a little bit of face oil, but I would give them, and yeah, it's definitely, we want to keep the skin as moist as possible, right? Of course, as a nutritionist, I talk about foods internally to keep you moisturized, but again, also what you put on your skin as well. So especially when we work around the eye area, right? Because it's one of the thinnest areas as well. So you definitely want to keep that as moisturized as well as possible, right? Because of, we're always with the they're always we blink, we squint, right? They're getting a lot of workouts, right? So they're prone to more dryness. They're more,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I think just as we age naturally, I mean, and that's where it all kind of holds. So,
exactly.
so we can do our oils. We can, I mean, and what I loved, about this whole presentation, and I hope that you ladies are seeing, right? This midlife mojo, it's all about aging gracefully, naturally, right? So those befores and afters, they weren't like all of a sudden she looks 16 again, or 20 again, right? It's just taking our own natural beauty and enhancing it, right? I mean, I don't think you're going to probably get the deepest of the things, but you know what? We don't want those either. I mean, we just
No,
want to look more vibrant, and healthy and
yes.
alive. And that, of course, translates to the youthfulness, but in our own as we age way,
Yeah.
accepting that. So,
I love that you said that. That's I love because people think, oh, right, like they think facelift and no, it's it's you're building again, you're building the awareness, you're building a connection with yourself. And I think, like I always say, beauty is inner beauty, right? So when you start to let go of those maybe those thoughts or things you don't want anymore, right? Then you start to create space in the face. And I love also too the five senses are in the face, right? You think your sight, your hearing, your tasting, the touch, what's sight to sight,
peace,
taste,
hear,
hear.
touch, taste, and feel. I know that's
Feel,
touch.
yeah, the feel
Okay.
here.
Yeah.
So it's all connected in the face. And so when I was doing that little experiment about, if you think of something heavy on your face, right, what do you tend to do? You tend to, right, your eyes squint, you go down, right? So when you take that weight, whatever weight, stress off, now you start to, right, you get lighter, you get brighter, everything starts to lighten up and like, relax. So that's another analogy I like to use as well too.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Well, ladies, I did put in the chat or in the comments there the link to her free guide. So make sure you go ahead and take advantage of that. And it looks like you've got a masterclass coming up next week.
Next
So
week,
definitely get on her mailing list. I'm sure by downloading that you'll get on her mailing list. So you
yep.
get that information. Join her Change of Face. Is that correct? Change of
Change your
Face
face.
is your
Yes,
Facebook group.
yes, my
So make sure you get on that as well. Her 12-week program. And I'm going to have her back again. I've just listening to her. I've got like a million ideas of how Louise and I are going to collaborate moving forward
love
on
it.
different things. Cause, you and I are kindred spirits down to your final thing, adding that quote. Like that's how I love to end everything too. So, but
Amazing.
I think you're a perfect fit for this group. And I just, am thankful for you sharing your expertise with us, your fun and all that, those poses, your free gift. And I'm just looking here, had a couple people on. Becky said, this is so interesting. Gonna give it a try. Thanks for
Love it.
sharing. So,
Love
and then for those of you on the replay, definitely comment, let us know, and we will go back. And that is it for another Midlife Mojo Monday. We will be back here next Monday, the 2 p.m. ish hour. And I'm taking my birthday month a little slow this month. Jill needs a little bit of rejuvenation, a little recharge. I got to find my mojo again so I can keep going hard for as we move into spring and summer. So I don't have anything exciting going on this week for you, but you guys got Louise's class coming up that you can join. So
awesome.
yeah, so everybody have a wonderful week. I will see you in the group, and thank you again, Louise.
Thank you, Jill, and I wish you a beautiful birthday and yeah, whatever you planned it to be. So thank you, ladies. I
Thank
look
you.
forward to hearing from all from you.